Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I hope you've been enjoying yourself and maybe dodging some of this heat and trying to stay cool. But it's warm, but it's certainly been a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend, at least from my perspective anyway. So thankful for that. I hope you were able to join us this morning either in person at the building or online, and just a continued reminder that those videos and sermons will continue to be streamed when this pandemic is long gone. Lord willing, we will be continuing to stream our services, stream our classes as much as possible. We were making those things available before the pandemic hit, and we hope to continue to make those things available. It'll always be useful for people that have sickness, that are shut in, and things like that. And it's also useful for being able to share those with people that might be wanting to check into what we're talking about, what we've got going on, but are not quite willing to come to the building yet. And speaking of that, you know that in the past I've been on you quite a bit about inviting people to church, and we have got some excellent opportunities that are coming up. We've got our summer series coming up. It's Beyond Damascus Road, Life Lessons from the Apostle Paul. Each Wednesday night, our different speakers will be bringing us a lesson that's their best lesson or their favorite lesson from one of Paul's epistles. So that's going to be an excellent opportunity for you. And we have got an excellent lineup. And of course, we've got VBS coming up that's going to be starting. That's going to start the first Sunday in June. I believe that date is the 6th, but that'll be the first Sunday in June. And we'll be starting that Sunday night. We'll kick off our VBS, and then each night, Sunday night through Wednesday night will be the nights of our VBS. We'll have a meal each night. We've got classes for all ages. I'll be teaching the adult class. Richie's got the teenagers upstairs. And so just an excellent time that's coming up. Some exciting stuff going on. A lot of things to look forward to this summer. Our camps are going to be going on. So we have got a lot of good stuff. And What's Rivergate Doing is certainly going to be back in full swing. Now, as far as the day goes, this is something from history I wanted to give you for our thought for today. It was on this day, May the 23rd of 1934, that the famous or infamous criminals Bonnie and Clyde were shot to death by a group of Texas and Louisiana State Police that was led by retired Ranger Frank Hamer. Now, I don't know what comes to your mind when you hear the names Bonnie and Clyde. Probably each one of us, maybe some people have got something different depending on your perspective and things like that. But have you ever seen one of those movies about the lives of Bonnie and Clyde? You know, maybe it was that while you were watching that movie, the people that designed that, they tried to get you to where you really kind of like those people, and you're almost kind of rooting for them to, you don't want to see them get caught, or maybe you, especially when you get to the end of the movie and you see that they're shot to death by all those police, you've got to the point to where you didn't want to see that happen. And this is just one of the many examples of where, if we're not careful, we could let the world and the influence that the world tries to have on us, we could let the world give us a skewed perspective on some things. You know, among the public, Bonnie and Clyde, they had this reputation of being kind of like Robin Hood type folk heroes or something like that. And it seems like their fame was increased by their youth and being this couple that was running about. And especially due to some pictures that they had, these kind of playful pictures that they had made, and in one of the raids on one of their hideouts, the police found this undeveloped film, had that developed, and finally that found its way into the hands of the media. So that just continued to fuel those things. So it seems like it's almost a shame that they had to be captured and shot. Doesn't that seem like a shame? Or does it? Let me tell you a few other things. Bonnie and Clyde, they stole cars, they robbed banks and stores across 5 states, including Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, New Mexico, and Louisiana. In 1932, they shot store owner J.N. Butcher in Hillsboro, Texas. I believe that was their first. On August the 5th, 1932, they shot and killed Deputy Eugene Moore and wounded Sheriff C.G. Maxwell in Stringtown, Oklahoma. It's believed they also killed store owner Howard Hall at his store in Sherman, Texas. They killed Doyle Johnson. They killed Malcolm Davis. They killed Harry McGinnis. They killed Wes Harriman. They killed Henry Humphrey, Major Crowson, E.B. Wheeler, H.D. Murphy, and Cal Campbell, and wounded a host of other people. All these people, somebody's husband, somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's family members. And you say, did they deserve to be captured? Did they deserve the fate that they had? The only thing that's a shame about it is that they went to the grave having been lost, having been living so far outside of what Christ would have us to do. Now, are they just innocent Robin Hood types after hearing all those things? Seems to me that they're much more than this. You see, the world's going to try to trick us into believing what it wishes in order to sell movies or to move our politics, or a host of different things that reasons that the world will try to influence us. Many times you watch a movie, they'll get you rooting for the bad guy, even rooting against the police, even rooting for a man to cheat on his wife or a woman to cheat on her husband, because this nicer, better looking person comes along. That's what this world will try to do to you. It will try to pull you away. The devil is fully at work. He's seeking to devour you, and the stronger you are in Christ, the more he would like to pull you away, because the more his influence could have effect on other people if you are lost, if you fall away. In Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, Paul makes an appeal to the people. He says, brothers, by the mercies of God, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service, or some translations say your spiritual service. He goes on and he says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that by the testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Friends, that's what the Bible calls for us to do, not to be conformed to this world, to be what this world would have us to be, but to be transformed into something else. I just pray that you'll take these thoughts with you today, that I presented to you today. Take these with you as you go into your walk the rest of this week, the rest of your life. Don't be conformed to what the world would have you to be. Don't think the way the world would have you to think. Think the way that God would have you to think. Be transformed into something better. Look at the words of the Bible and what Jesus calls us to do. Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Friends, that's a higher standard. Be transformed into something better. It'll be a blessing to you, to your family. It'll be a blessing to everyone you come into contact with. I want to thank you once again for tuning in, and I just pray that you have a blessed week.